Is net zero less of a priority for the government?
Not at all. I think that the net zero legislation, it is after all in law, is still the law of the land. We're focused on that. But of course, given what's happening around the world, given the pressure on energy prices, we're also doing lots of other things to make sure that we get independence, energy independence back into the UK. We want to have security of supply. We want to live in a world where we're not dependent on what Russian policy is, but we have more control over energy sources here in Britain, and that's what the strategy is all about.
Yeah, what people care most about at the moment, though, of course, is the impact that it's going to have on their energy bills. When will they see the difference?
You're absolutely right. I mean, in terms of people's energy bills, our people's energy bills this year, we've announced a number of measures, the £9.1 billion package, the £150 off council tax for people in bands A to D, £200 to pay those bills. And of course, you're right to say that the strategy is more of a medium-term 3, 4, 5-year answer. But that doesn't mean we can't address this. I think it's really important that we get an energy strategy and energy policy that means that we can have more security and independence in the years ahead.
How comfortable would you be living next door to a wind farm?
I've said that I don't personally have issues with wind farms, but of course I've also very clearly said that onshore wind farm developments have to be made with local consent. That doesn't work without that, and that's what we're committed to in the strategy.
Okay, let's move on to the front page of the Daily Mirror today. In the news this morning, do you? Let's have a quick look at that. Do you agree with the Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, who says that because his wife isn't an elected politician, journalists shouldn't be asked questions about her?
Look, I agree with him that it's completely unfair to be bringing someone who is not a politician and essentially attacking them in the way that's happening. I totally agree with him on that.
How does it look to the British public that while they're being asked to pay more tax from yesterday, the wife of the man who is asking us to do that is earning millions from overseas investments and not paying a penny?
So I looked at her statement yesterday. She made it very clear that as an Indian national, she can't have dual citizenship. And she's got a non-dom status here in the UK. Now, after 15 years staying here, she will be domiciled, but for the moment, she pays tax on UK income, as I understand, and on foreign income, she pays the tax outside the UK. That's what non-domicile status means. But I haven't come here to comment on her tax affairs.
No, but we're talking about the British public and the optics, if I may. You are here to represent the government today, not just on your own brief. That's your job this morning on behalf of Her Majesty's government. And I'm asking you about the optics of the British public who are being asked to pay more money and making the choice between heating and eating 500,000 kids in absolute poverty, and the woman who is married to the bloke that is enforcing all of that on us is not paying a penny in tax for her overseas earnings. I'm asking you about the optics of that for my viewers this morning.
So all I've said is, people can reach, obviously, their own conclusions. I mean, that's up to the viewers. But all I've said is that he's made full declaration of what's happened. It's a non-domicile status that is utterly legal. Everything is completely in order. He's always been very transparent about these issues.
She set up a business with others called Dig Me Fitness. It only went under after it had taken quite a lot of money as part of the furlough scheme. Debts of £415,000 that has been left to the British taxpayer to pick up. And again, I would put it to you that this is somebody who is richer than the Queen, who is living in the very heart of Westminster, representing your government. Are you completely comfortable with that?
I'm totally comfortable with people having businesses, people operating what they do as private citizens. I'm completely comfortable about that. And I think everything's been open and declared, and I'm happy with that. I don't know the details. Obviously, I'm not an expert on those her financial arrangements, but I think absolutely that people have a right to pursue their own business interests.
Yeah, £635,000 in furlough payments for a company that collapsed.
Look, I don't know about the details of the businesses that you're referring to, but I know that everything has been fully declared. I know that the Chancellor has put this all in his declaration of interests, and I also am aware that the non-domicile status is something that's been in British law for 230 years.
Can you accept at all that it might irk the British public?
Look, people will draw their own conclusions, and that's the great thing about this country. We have an open debate. People will have lots of different views. I've just come here to say very clearly that I think her tax affairs are a matter for her, and I don't know the details of the businesses that you've referred to.
No, I understand that, but I can't understand why you don't appreciate that somebody can't feed their kids, put food in their bellies and put the lights on in the house as well, and yet somebody else who's married to somebody who's making us make those decisions is making millions in overseas earnings and not having to pay a penny in tax.
Well, we've rehearsed this. I said there's a non-domicile status that you clearly lots of people are aware of. And everything's been declared. That's what I've said.
Okay, let me ask you about. Okay, let me ask you this instead then. Do you agree with the Prime Minister that biological males should not be competing in female sporting events?
Yes, I do. I think he was very clear. It was very refreshing to see the leading politician in our country be very clear about that. I happen to agree with him on this.
Okay. The charity Stonewall, I'm sure you're aware of them, are saying that a blanket ban would be fundamentally unfair. Why are they wrong?
I think that we've seen in America and other places people who are biological males, smash records and win lots and lots of races, and I think that's unfair. I think what the Prime Minister said chimed with millions of people's views up and down the country. That it's unfair to have biological males competing with biological females in things like swimming contests and cycling.
You're completely comfortable with what's happening at number 11 Downing Street. What about number 10? Are you comfortable that the Prime Minister, in the words of the Leader of the Opposition, presided over widespread criminality while in office?
So again, we've been here many times. I think it's important that the police go through the full, Metropolitan Police go through the full investigation. They're doing that. As I understand, a number of people have been issued with fines. And that's up to those individuals concerned. We've had Sue Gray as well looking at what's happened. And I'm just very interested in looking at the conclusion of those reports.
Yeah, the interim report says that 20 times the law was broken in Downing Street. Some would say that's widespread criminality. I'm not asking you to comment on what might happen. I'm asking you about what the police have already told us. And are you completely comfortable with a Prime Minister who's presided over the law being broken 20 times already in office?
What I am comfortable with is with a Prime Minister who's shown incredible leadership in this Russia-Ukraine crisis.
That's not what I'm asking you about, Minister.
Pointed out. No, you're asking me about whether I'm comfortable with the Prime Minister, and I'm 100%
No, I'm not. I didn't ask you that. I asked you whether you were comfortable with him presiding over law-breaking, is what I'm asking you specifically.
So on that specific point, I'm saying that let's see the full extent of the inquiry. But the underlying your question was somehow some suspicion that the Prime Minister wasn't doing a fantastic job.
That's specifically what I was asking you about. There was no sidebar to it at all.
Okay.
Let me put this to you then. The Justice Secretary says laws were broken at Downing Street. Do you agree with him, or do you think he's misspoken?
Look, all I'm saying is that I think we should look at the full extent of the report. I want to wait and see the full Gray report. I want to wait and see the full outcome of the Metropolitan investigations. We're at an interim stage, as you said.
Okay.
And I think we should. I will make my conclusions once this process is completed.
Okay. So the jury's still out for you?
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
take a look at what. Thank you
I just said
very much.
let's wait and see where this thing ends up. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.